Do I have a need for a macro lens? Nope. Can I justify a macro lens? Not really. Did I have a lot of fun playing with the macro lens? Absolutely. I finally got hold of the Fuji 80mm macro lens and I was really excited to try it out. I took it out to the park for a day, actually 2 days, and I learned a couple of things. One, macro photography isn't easy. This is not a shooting style that I've ever really done, and it's not one of my personal favorite styles, but I did come to appreciate the complexity and difficulty of getting great macro shots, and there's its own set of knowledge and tricks that you have to learn. And the second thing I learned or was surprised by is how versatile this lens really is. It's great for macro shots, of course, but it does a really nice job at portraits too, making this a surprisingly good all-in-one prime lens. Now, at first I wasn't sure about the kind of results I was getting. When I was looking at that tiny LCD screen and the bright daylight, the results didn't look that great, but then when I got them home and I uploaded them to my large monitor, I was amazed at the detail in these pictures, so much so that we actually decided to go back the next day and go capture some more shots so we could get a really well-rounded overview of this lens's capabilities. So I'm going to roll into this little video of our 2-day outing here shortly, and I hope you can enjoy the solitude in the park with us and travel with us and sit back and relax for just a few minutes. When I see you on the other side, we'll look at some additional focus stacking examples and my overall conclusions of the lens. Just as a reminder, all the photos, unless otherwise specified, are straight out of the camera using the Eterna profile on the 80mm lens. I did sneak in a few 16mm landscapes in between, but I'll point those out as you see them. Okay, let's roll on to the video and then I'll see you at the end of this. So we're finally getting out to get to Gibbs Garden. Unlike those YouTube videos of people going to Iceland on great adventures, just leaving their house and immediately going on some wild adventure, it takes us 30 minutes to pack the car with strollers and get the baby prepped and food and diaper bags, and it's the new normal. So we'll see you at Gibbs Garden.
It'll help you get together when you're feeling alone, make you feel happy, remind you of home.
So we made it to Gibbs Garden. It's going to be a great, I got my hands on the 80mm macro lens. It's going to be a great opportunity to try taking some close-ups of some flowers, and we'll try it as a portrait lens as well, just to see what that looks like. But couldn't ask for a better place to try out some new lenses.
Feeling to a sunny day, make you brave, say what you wanna say. Oh, it's got me feeling everything's okay. Look at what love can do.
Okay, we're getting up to the rose garden. That's going to be a good time to get the macro lens out. So just one more landscape shot and then we'll switch over to macro.
And I'm not gonna lie, I could probably fly for the weight of the world is feather light. Oh, 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 look at what love can do. Oh, 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 the things that love can do.
Okay, found our first victim, which is a spider, and let's get that macro lens going. So we've got the macro lens installed and see what that gives us. I'm struggling a little bit with very close focus on the insects, but by and large seems to be good. Does a lot of focus hunting kind of back and forth. Can't exactly say that it's low light, so I guess once you get to a close distance it struggles a little bit, but overall we'll see what the results look like.
We learn till the day we die, so let your love run free. So let your love run free. Let your love run free. I'll follow you, you follow me. Let your love run free. Come on, let's raise the sun and make this place a home. The world will say they just begun, so let your love run free.
So we're back at Gibbs Garden. Yesterday was unbearably hot, and also it was the first time with that 80mm macro lens, not used to shooting macro photography. Wasn't really convinced about the pictures I was getting. Looking on the little LCD screen, it's hard to really judge. But when we got home last night and we saw them on the big screen, they actually looked pretty good. So we thought, let's come out again early morning and take a few more photos so we can get a well-rounded review of that lens. So here today we'll take a couple more photos and see what we have and put it together in a video.
It's like jumping off the edge, a little like free falling. I may never catch my breath. All I wanna do is keep falling in love with you. Can't believe my eyes, I finally see. Must be falling in love. Angel in the sky, brought to me. Must be falling in love. The way I'm feeling, darling, it's like jumping off the edge, a little like free falling. May never catch my breath. All I wanna do is keep falling in love with you.
Alright, so I think we're done for the day. Got some good photos. Hopefully when we get back we'll check them out and see what they look like. I think I learned a lot about the autofocus on this lens. Got much closer and better focus with manual focus, but quite honestly the manual focus isn't easy when you're getting up very close. It's hard to understand which way and how much to turn the zoom dial. It's a big zoom dial and it really does turn a lot, and seems to be in a very slow and gradual increment, which is good for focusing, but it takes a while to find the right focal length. So all in all, I think we've got some great photos. So it's still a beautiful day out regardless, and once we get back we'll get it all uploaded and we'll see what we ended up with. So hopefully it turns out to be a good 80mm lens review. See you there.
Is keep falling in love with you.
thanks for joining me and my family on that little excursion. I really hope you enjoyed it. And while I have you here, I'd be remiss not to ask you to subscribe so I can bring you more videos like this one. And by that, I mean justify to my wife why I need to go buy some more camera gear. So think of your subscription directly aiding my ability to go get more gear. Okay, outside of flowers and bugs, I also tried my hand at focus stacking with mixed results, but nothing to do with the lens itself and really everything to do with me and my knowledge of focus stacking. But nonetheless, the sharpness you can extract here is unbelievable. And if I was doing product shots, I could totally see a place for this lens in my camera gear. I only have two criticisms, if you want to call it that, of this lens, and I should point out that this may have nothing to do with the lens itself, and they don't detract from the lens. The first issue that I really found was a high miss rate on focus, and I'm trying to account for the large amount of user incompetence in this operation, but I still feel I got a lower hit rate overall. Now, there were times that I didn't use the focal range selector properly, but I eventually got the hang of that, but I still got more misses than I liked. There were also times when it was focus hunting and it would seem like it would go from one end of the focal range all the way to the other and back again before like nailing and locking down on that focus. And the focal range selector can be really useful to narrow the focus search range. And it took me a while to remember to set it correctly with every photo. But you know, enough of those red autofocus error messages got me to learn that process quite quickly. But I still got more overall misses on the focus than I would have expected. I also found the manual zoom quite difficult to nail focus on close-up shots because it felt like I would turn the zoom ring for miles before finding that focus zone. Now I can see a very granular control like this is probably great for dialing it in perfectly and getting that detail. But when I was chasing a moving bug and I was turning the zoom ring, searching for the focus area, it felt like an eternity, and by that time the bug would long since be gone, and that was a little frustrating. I don't know how I could adjust the focus and find that focal area quicker. And maybe that's just the world of macro, or it's maybe the world of me, and hopefully somebody can point out a trick to me that will make zooming in a lot easier on this lens. I've also read reviews of people complaining about the size and weight. Now let's face it, it isn't as small or as light as the 23mm, and I don't think Fuji have gotten past the constraints of physics, so it really is what it is. I wouldn't want to carry it out all day, every day on a 7-day trip, but at times when you take it for its intended purpose, it really isn't that bad. I took it out for 2 days and it wasn't that bad. So in conclusion, everything you've seen, read or heard about this lens is true. It's insanely sharp. If this lens were only for taking macros or flowers of bugs, I wouldn't personally have any interest really in buying one. However, given that you can take these really nice portraits too, and you can use it for product shots, this lens may well one day find a way into my bag given its versatility and sharpness. Macro photography for some is a novelty, and yet for others it's its own art form and main style of shooting. I found macro photography fascinating in that brief click of the shutter, we are pulled into a world not always seen with the naked eye. An uninvited guest who for a sub-second comes in, says hello, and leaves without a trace. If only all of human intrusions into our planet were done in such an ephemeral manner and without leaving a record of us ever having been there in the first place.
Can't believe my eyes, I finally see. Must be falling in love, angel in the sky, brought to me. Must be falling in love, the way I'm feeling, darling, it's like jumping